We are now officially 4 days out from the FOMC meeting. Yes, we will be talking about this as we do get closer to that September 17th date, but there is still a 100% probability of a rate cut happening on the 17th. We've been hearing a lot of rumors about possibly a 1 BPS cut. I still think that it's probably going to be about roughly a 25 BPS cut initially, followed by possibly one in October and then also one in December. But this is going to cause the markets to skyrocket. And even more recently, we just got a big update. Today's close for the S&P was right around 6,600. Breaking, the S&P 500 officially hit 6,600 for the first time in history. Now up 36% since its April 2025 bottom. This marks one of the best 5-month stock market rallies in US history. This is extremely exciting. Now, our official close today was about 65.84, but again, the fact that we are clearing out highs like this, we are making history on the S&P, tells us that crypto and the altcoin market is about to do the same. And when we are looking at crypto bubbles real quick on the daily, we are now starting to see the altcoin market waking up in a big way. We're now seeing double-digit gains on multiple altcoins, not just on outliers. Yes, there's still a lot of shallow gains like XRP and HBAR only up about 1.9 and 1.4%, even XLM up only like 2.3%. But we are going to witness the entire market wake up. We are starting to see the signals flashing red, which we'll talk about as well. But this is a very exciting time in this market for altcoin holders. Even on the monthly, we're still in a sea of red. There's still a lot of green out there, but for the most part, we are still waiting on the rest of the altcoin market to wake up. Looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum today, 116,000, 4,700, and even XRP, $3.10. Guys, on the weekly, Bitcoin up 4.6%, Ethereum up 9.1%, and XRP up 10.2%. We'd love to see that. And by the way, everything's still trying to catch up to, XRP on the yearly. I know that Soros and SPX 6900 and Virtuals Protocol, they might look great on the yearly, but that's because these are fresh launches. A lot of these are also just like meme coins or so. So I wouldn't really kind of say, oh, these are like the top gainers. I'm mainly looking at legitimate established projects. Virtuals Protocol is more like an AI engine, if you will, but XRP is one that's up 452%. Most of these other coins are trying to catch up to XRP. A lot of them have, right? Like BitGet Token, OKB, that are up 403, 490%. Then we also have HBAR Stellar, right? 325, 385. But these are just the beginning gains. Like, if we're still looking at this and saying, oh, well, XRP's at $3.10, it can't go higher, from here, right? Like, what's XRP gonna go to? Maybe $4 this cycle? No, this is still just the starting point. We have a lot more gas left in the tank for a lot of these altcoins, including even XRP. But when we're looking at the market today, 4.06 trillion. Guys, we're getting close to that all-time high of 4.17 trillion on the 13th of August. This is a very good, this is a very good start to that major reversal. We are now breaking over all the highs except for that high on the 13th. Now, the Fear and Greed Index back to 53. We could see that big spike right around those lows. If you guys do remember my video, I think it was from last week, I was talking about buying around these levels because even if we do hit extreme fear, it's okay, right? We'll be able to average in from this point down to extreme fear because we know around this level is where we start to see major bounces. We go all the way back here to July. We go back to August. We go back to September of 2024. All during this time, we were essentially creating higher lows. So you should have been buying the fear levels. Even this time around, I still think that we should have been buying the fear levels. And I've mentioned that many times over in the last couple weeks. Now, the Altcoin season index itself is going insane. We're at 69 out of 100. And yesterday, this was at 68. Last week, we were at 53. The altcoin market is really starting to gain a ton of momentum. I mean, we have been watching this over the last couple days. I mean, altcoins are now starting to wake up in a big way. We're waiting for the entire market to really wake up. But this is a very good sign of what's about to happen. Now, with Bitcoin is still hovering around $116,000, up 4.69% on the 7-day. Ethereum also hovering around like 4,700, up about 9.29% on the 7-day structure. And then also XRP on the 7-day structure now up 10.29% in the last week at $3.10. All of these charts look incredible right now. So we have our bottom confirmed on Bitcoin. I'm going to be very upfront with you guys. The bottom is in on Bitcoin. We are now watching for the major reversal back to those highs from the 10th. This will also take the entire crypto market cap back to those highs on the 13th. But the difference here is altcoins. Because let's just go back to XRP for an example. So XRP's bottom is essentially confirmed here, right? We closed right around those same lows going back to August 2nd and August 3rd. We created higher lows on the daily. And now on this daily close from today, Friday, we now have a higher high going off of the August 22nd, the August 23rd, and even the August 24th candle body closes. Yes, we still need, a push over the wick. We want to see a push over this wick of $3 and almost 13 cents. But this is a very, very big signal that XRP is about to go on another major move to the upside where we potentially retest those other higher highs. And this could lead us to $4 plus on XRP in a very short amount of time. We've also been following XRP dominance, right? We've been looking at the dominance in the altcoin market, and this has been playing out perfectly. Now, I was charting this on a lower time frame structure, but looking at this real quick, we have been just chopping. We've been watching and waiting for this to really kind of break over those upper levels, especially on the weekly, right? Our upper level here on XRP dominance about like 5.52%. We want to see a clear push above this. The moving average looks as though it's ready to get broken on RSI, which could show us and tell us when exactly we are going to see a much larger move on this chart. Very similar back to like November, right? Here we have on the chart back in November. On November 4th, we started to see a big spike. And then by, the next week, we were already going insane on dominance, which also, yes, on the USD chart, we were playing that out perfectly as well. We were starting to see a big spike. But even on the weekly, right, we have this significant low, we have a higher low, and now we have a higher low as well. RSI is about to break over that moving average as well for the first time since going back to roughly like June into July, which we already saw what happened then. And now we're watching to see if this can break over that 5.52% level, target the first blue zone. And no, this is not the only blue zone on this chart. We also have an additional one up there in the double-digit figures. But this is going to be a very, very big moment for XRP if we could start to see that next big push on this chart. Now, again, during this time, we should start to see XRP really creating a new high on the chart. So we should be at $4 plus, and we should be on our way to the official bull run top for this cycle. But beyond that, we are also watching Bitcoin during this time because, yes, Bitcoin does matter. Bitcoin's still around 116K. We broke that moving average back in the beginning of September. We started to see a big push on the chart, broke over the trend line, And now we're hovering right around 116K. We're starting to kind of find some resistance around this level. I want to see a big break over 117K. I mentioned that in yesterday's video. Until we break over that level, we're not going to see, a significant push to the upside on Bitcoin just yet. It's going to take a little bit of time. I would not mind seeing us sell off into the weekend, maybe even retest like 113K before we went insane, because that would be a double bottom going off of the August lows. Or actually a triple bottom, because we already have this low going back to like the end of August as well. So, we would retest this on the daily chart, and then we would just go insane going into the FOMC week with, of course, the first official Fed rate cut. But the biggest thing that I'm watching during this entire time is the altcoin market, because even though Bitcoin has been just trailing here, Bitcoin dominance continues to sell off. And it seems as though we are repeating that pattern perfectly on this chart, where we have two, possible bullish candles in a row, followed by three bearish candles. We should have three bearish weekly candles now in a row on this chart, which should take us into the end of September. This is showing us that the end of September is going to be very bullish for altcoins. And why wouldn't they? At a time where the total 3 is looking like this on the weekly. On the weekly right now, we are about to have one of the largest weekly candle closes if we can manage to close over $1.13 trillion. We are also hitting the all-time highs going all the way back to November of 2021 on the altcoin market. Guys, this is showing us that altcoins right now are absolutely bullish. They are extremely bullish. You should be 100% focused on them. And if we can manage to close over this $1.13 trillion level on the weekly, the next stop here is $1.45 trillion. I am watching the altcoin market right now like a hawk, because I do think that this is going to break out in a much larger way leading to alt season. And talking about alt season, we just saw another post come up on the timeline from Altcoin Gordon. He said, history is repeating itself. Alt season. Do you understand? And this is the others dominance chart. When we are looking at this others dominance chart, yes, we are comparing it back to 2017. We're looking at that 2017 metric, because if we're looking at others dominance right now, this thing is starting to break to the upside. I've been sharing with you guys over the last couple weeks this chart, right? On the 3-week, we have a few highs that we need to clear. Even the big break back in November, December, and January, where everyone was celebrating altcoins going insane, we never actually broke out on this chart. We just hit that upper trend line. Now, others dominance is starting to gain a lot of traction here, while Bitcoin dominance is selling off. We just hit the first official level that we needed to hit, which was 8.43%. If we could break over that, we can retest this trend line. We might not get a break initially, but we are going to try to break over this, and then we will clear these previous highs, leading to what we see on this chart here that Gordon posted, where we would go back to 20+%. And yes, 20+% would be the focus, considering the fact that the 2022 high is around 20% anyways. But everyone is comparing this back to 2021, but realistically speaking, going all the way back to 2017, 2018, when we first officially started to break out, we're kind of trading in this same exact pattern where, it's a very shallow, sort of level that we're trading at, chopping at, and then we start to see a big little break to the upside. We're at that big little break right now. The next big push here is that massive push to the upside, where it's almost like it's like a 5, almost 6x return on just this chart alone. Now, I don't think that we 6x from where we are at, but we could definitely have that big push back to those highs, which would be a 139% push to the upside. And even then, I still think that we can go a little bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit like 25% this cycle for the altcoin market. And if we're thinking about that, that's huge for the altcoin market. We're not even talking about the top 10. We're talking about altcoins outside of the top 10. So this would be huge for the entire crypto market. So this is why we are focused on altcoins at this time. And by the way, Ethereum right now is doing exactly what we wanted to see Ethereum do. We had that rounding bottom, then we started to push to the upside. Now we hit our first key level of resistance. We're finding resistance right around those highs going back to August 13th. Now we're having a potential slight sell-off before we start to break out above those 2021 all-time highs. So the entire market right now is looking as though we are fully bottomed out and we're ready to go on a much larger push to the upside. But the main focus here is not even Bitcoin or Ethereum anymore. It's altcoins. We should be 100% locked in on altcoins because that's where the largest amounts of gains will be made over the next couple months, especially with, you know, the Fed hinting at a rate cut decision happening in 4 days, by the way. I mean, guys, this market is about to see and about to witness a massive move to the upside. I am waiting patiently for this. I have been waiting patiently for this. We have been waiting, technically speaking, 3 years for this moment. I am extremely excited about what's going to hit this market next. I think everyone should be paying attention as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.